In life, there comes a moment when staying in a situation feels like a slow erosion of your spirit, chipping away at your joy, your health, and your sense of self. This isn't weakness, it's a silent signal that something needs to change. You might be in a relationship where you're no longer respected, a job that drains you without offering fulfillment, or stuck in a cycle of obligation and guilt that leaves you feeling hollow. Today, we're diving deep into 9 specific moments when walking away isn't just an option, it's an act of courage and self-respect. We'll explore how making these tough decisions, guided by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, can lead to profound personal growth and a life aligned with your true values. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of when to let go, how to embrace new opportunities, and why walking away can sometimes be the strongest, bravest choice you can make. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And please, don't skip any part of the video. You won't want to miss these insights. Number 1. When you're no longer being respected. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, be it personal or professional. When respect starts to fade, you can feel it in every interaction. Maybe your ideas are dismissed in meetings, your partner talks over you, or your friends continually ignore your boundaries. These small, seemingly insignificant actions accumulate over time, eroding your self-esteem and making you feel invisible. It's like standing on a shaky foundation that could collapse at any moment. The Stoics remind us that our self-worth should not be dictated by others' opinions or actions, but it's undeniably tough to maintain this mindset when you're surrounded by disrespect. In a job where respect is lacking, you might notice a decline in your enthusiasm and productivity. Your contributions go unnoticed, or worse, someone else takes credit for your hard work. This isn't just a hit to your professional pride. It's a signal that you're not valued in that environment. The same goes for personal relationships. When your partner, family, or friends don't treat you with the respect you deserve, it's not just hurtful, it's toxic. It can make you question your worth and place immense stress on your mental health. Walking away from such situations isn't about giving up, it's about reclaiming your dignity and self-worth. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions. You can't control how others treat you, but you can decide to remove yourself from environments that don't respect you. It's an act of self-preservation, a declaration that you deserve better. By walking away, you're not only protecting your mental and emotional well-being, but also setting a powerful precedent for your future interactions. You're telling yourself and the world that you will not tolerate disrespect. This is not an easy decision. It requires immense strength and self-awareness. But in doing so, you create space in your life for relationships and opportunities that align with your values and uplift you. Think about it. Every moment you spend in a place where you're not respected is a moment taken away from finding and building a life where you are valued and appreciated. It's not just about leaving behind negativity, it's about opening doors to positive, respectful environments. This act of walking away is a profound step towards personal growth and self-empowerment. Respect is non-negotiable. It's the bedrock of every meaningful interaction. So, when you find yourself in a situation where it's lacking, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control and have the courage to walk away. Your self-respect and inner peace are worth more than staying in an environment that diminishes you. Number 2. When you're being taken for granted. We've all been there, giving our all in a situation and feeling like it's barely noticed, let alone appreciated. Whether it's at work, in a friendship, or within your family, being taken for granted is an incredibly frustrating experience. You put in countless hours of overtime, go out of your way to help a friend, or constantly support your loved ones, only to find that your efforts are met with indifference or expectation. It's exhausting and can leave you feeling completely drained. When your hard work and dedication go unrecognized, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. In the workplace, this might look like consistently putting in extra effort without so much as a thank you or acknowledgement from your boss. Your contributions become expected rather than valued, and soon you find yourself burning out. The Stoic approach teaches us to focus on our own virtues and actions rather than seeking validation from others. However, it's important to recognize when an environment is persistently unappreciative, as this can lead to long-term dissatisfaction and diminished self-worth. In personal relationships, being taken for granted can feel even more painful. Imagine always being the one to plan outings, offer support, or make sacrifices only to have these gestures go unnoticed. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment and a feeling of emptiness. You might start to wonder why you're putting in so much effort when it's not reciprocated or appreciated. This isn't about seeking constant praise, but about mutual respect and recognition. Walking away from situations where you're taken for granted is a powerful act of self-respect. It's not about being selfish, it's about understanding your own value and refusing to accept less than you deserve. The Stoics remind us that we should not be dependent on the approval of others for our sense of worth. By stepping away from environments where your efforts are undervalued, you make space for opportunities and relationships that truly recognize and appreciate your contributions. This decision can be tough. There's often a fear of the unknown. What if you leave and don't find a better job or lose a friend? But staying in a place where you're not valued can be far more damaging in the long run. It's a slow erosion of your self-esteem and happiness. The Stoics would advise us to act according to our principles and values, even if it means making difficult choices. Prioritize your own well-being and growth over the comfort of familiarity. Imagine redirecting your energy towards people and places that genuinely value you. This shift not only boosts your morale, but also aligns your life with the principles of mutual respect and appreciation. It's about creating a balanced dynamic where your efforts are acknowledged and reciprocated. This balance is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and a positive self-image. By walking away from being taken for granted, you set a standard for how you expect to be treated. It's a declaration of your self-worth and a step towards a more fulfilling life. You deserve to be in environments where your efforts are recognized and valued. Remember, as the Stoics teach us, your worth is inherent and should not be contingent upon others' recognition. Stand firm in this belief, and don't be afraid to move on from those who fail to appreciate what you bring to the table. Number 3. When it's affecting your mental or physical health. Your health is your most precious asset. It's the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. When you find yourself in a situation that negatively impacts your mental or physical health, it's a clear signal that something needs to change. We often push through stress, anxiety, and physical strain, thinking it's just part of life. But when these issues become chronic, they're red flags that shouldn't be ignored. Stoic philosophy teaches us to recognize what is within our control and what is not, emphasizing the importance of maintaining our inner peace and well-being. Consider a job that demands more from you than you can healthily give. Long hours, constant pressure, and a toxic work environment can lead to burnout, stress, and even serious health problems like insomnia or high blood pressure. Your body and mind can only handle so much before they start to break down. It's crucial to listen to these warning signs and take action before it's too late. The Stoics believed in the importance of balance and moderation, and pushing yourself beyond your limits is a clear violation of these principles. In personal relationships, the stakes are just as high. If you're in a situation where constant conflict, neglect, or emotional abuse is affecting your mental health, it's essential to recognize the harm being done. Anxiety, depression, and a feeling of being trapped can all stem from staying in a toxic relationship. The Stoics teach us to value our inner tranquility and to avoid those who disturb it. Walking away from a harmful relationship is not a sign of failure. It's a courageous step towards protecting your mental health and reclaiming your peace. Physical health is equally important. Perhaps you're involved in an activity or lifestyle that's causing you physical harm. Maybe it's a sport that your body can no longer handle, or habits that are slowly wearing you down. Ignoring the physical toll these activities take can lead to long-term damage. The Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature includes taking care of our physical bodies as part of our natural existence. We must respect our limits and listen to what our bodies are telling us. Walking away from situations that harm your health is an act of self-respect and wisdom. It's about recognizing that your well-being should always come first. The Stoics emphasized the importance of wisdom in making decisions that promote a healthy and balanced life. This wisdom involves knowing when to let go of what no longer serves you and to prioritize your health over external obligations or pressures. Imagine how your life could change if you prioritized your mental and physical health. By stepping away from toxic environments, you open the door to healing and growth. You allow yourself the space to recover and rebuild. This might mean finding a job that respects your work-life balance, nurturing relationships that uplift you, or adopting a lifestyle that supports your well-being. The Stoic pursuit of a virtuous and fulfilling life is deeply connected to maintaining both mental and physical health. Your health is not something to be compromised. It's the bedrock of your ability to live a full and meaningful life. By recognizing when a situation is harming you and having the courage to walk away, you're choosing to honor and protect yourself. The Stoics remind us that true strength lies in our ability to maintain inner peace and harmony. So prioritize your health, make the necessary changes, and remember that walking away from what harms you is a powerful act of self-care and wisdom. Number 4. When your values are compromised. Your values are the core principles that guide your actions, decisions, and overall direction in life. They define who you are and what you stand for. When you find yourself in situations that force you to compromise these values, it creates a profound inner conflict that can be incredibly distressing. Whether it's in the workplace, personal relationships, or any other area of your life, living in a way that contradicts your values can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction and unease. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living in accordance with your principles and virtues, believing that true happiness comes from aligning your actions with your inner beliefs. Consider a job that requires you to act unethically or go against your moral principles. Every time you compromise your values for the sake of the job, you feel a piece of your integrity slipping away. This isn't just about feeling uncomfortable, it's about losing touch with who you are. The Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed that maintaining your integrity and virtue was essential to living a fulfilled and meaningful life. When your work conflicts with these ideals, it's a clear sign that it might be time to walk away. In personal relationships, compromising your values can be just as damaging. Perhaps you're in a relationship where you're pressured to behave in ways that don't align with your beliefs, or you're surrounded by people whose actions and attitudes conflict with what you stand for. Over time, this dissonance can erode your sense of self and lead to constant inner turmoil. The Stoics teach us to choose our companions wisely, as the people we spend our time with can significantly influence our character and well-being. If your values are consistently being compromised in your relationships, it might be necessary to reassess and possibly walk away to preserve your integrity. Walking away from situations that compromise your values is not an act of weakness. It's a demonstration of strength and self-respect. It shows that you are committed to living authentically and that you prioritize your principles over convenience or external approval. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to act in accordance with our true nature and to remain steadfast in our virtues, regardless of external pressures. By doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and alignment that is crucial for our overall well-being. Imagine the freedom and empowerment that comes from living a life fully aligned with your values. When you make decisions that reflect your principles, you build a strong foundation of self-respect and confidence. You become a person who others can trust and rely on, not because you always do what's easy, but because you consistently do what's right. The Stoics believed that this kind of integrity was the key to true happiness and fulfillment. It's important to recognize that compromising your values, even in seemingly small ways, can have a cumulative effect. Each time you act against your principles, it becomes a bit easier to do so again, leading to a slippery slope that can ultimately distance you from your true self. By taking a stand and walking away from situations that demand you compromise your values, you are making a powerful statement about who you are and what you stand for. This act of courage and integrity can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Number 5. When you're not learning or growing anymore. When we stop evolving, we begin to feel stagnant and unfulfilled. It's like being stuck in a rut, where every day feels like a monotonous repeat of the last. Whether it's in your career, personal life, or hobbies, hitting a plateau where you're no longer learning or growing can be incredibly frustrating. The Stoics believed in the constant pursuit of wisdom and self-improvement, viewing life as a journey of continuous growth. When you're no longer moving forward, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. Consider your career. There might have been a time when your job was challenging and exciting, filled with opportunities to learn new skills and advance. But now, it feels like you're just going through the motions. There are no new challenges, no room for advancement, and no excitement. This lack of growth can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction and boredom. The Stoics teach us to strive for excellence in all that we do and to seek out opportunities for growth and improvement. If your current job doesn't provide these opportunities, it might be time to explore new paths that reignite your passion and curiosity. In your personal life, the absence of growth can also be a significant issue. Relationships, for instance, should be dynamic and evolving, helping both partners to grow and become better versions of themselves. If you find that your relationships are stagnant, where interactions feel repetitive and uninspiring, it might be time to reassess. The same goes for your personal interests and hobbies. If a hobby that once brought you joy and excitement now feels dull and routine, it's a sign that you need to seek new avenues for growth and learning. The Stoics valued the pursuit of knowledge and personal development, and they would encourage you to continuously seek out experiences that challenge and inspire you. Walking away from situations where you're not learning or growing anymore is an act of self-care and wisdom. It's about recognizing your potential and refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. The Stoics believed that our time on earth is limited and that we should use it wisely, constantly striving to better ourselves and our understanding of the world. By seeking out new opportunities and challenges, you are honoring this principle and making the most of your life. Imagine the excitement and fulfillment that comes from being in a constant state of growth and learning. When you challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone, you open up a world of possibilities. You develop new skills, gain fresh perspectives, and become more resilient and adaptable. This continuous growth not only enhances your professional and personal life, but also contributes to your overall sense of well-being and happiness. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with your nature, which includes the drive to learn and grow. It's important to recognize that growth often requires leaving behind the familiar and comfortable. This can be daunting, but it's a necessary step towards achieving your full potential. The Stoics taught that discomfort and challenge are essential for personal development. By embracing change and seeking out new experiences, you cultivate resilience and strength. This willingness to grow and learn is a testament to your commitment to living a fulfilling and meaningful life. Number 6. When you're only staying out of guilt or obligation. Staying in a situation purely out of guilt or obligation can be incredibly draining and unfulfilling. It's a common scenario. We often feel compelled to remain in jobs, relationships, or commitments because we feel guilty about leaving or believe it's our duty to stay. However, when your primary reason for staying is guilt or obligation, it's a sign that it's time to reassess your situation. The Stoics teach us to live in accordance with our true nature and to act from a place of genuine intent, not out of external pressures or misplaced guilt. Think about a job where you feel obligated to stay because you don't want to let your colleagues down or because you fear the judgment of others. Perhaps the job no longer brings you joy or aligns with your career goals, but the thought of leaving fills you with guilt. You might worry about the extra workload your departure would place on your team or fear disappointing your boss. However, staying in a role that no longer serves you out of a sense of duty can lead to resentment and burnout. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with your inner values and recognizing that you have control over your own decisions, not the opinions or expectations of others. In personal relationships, guilt and obligation can be even more potent. You might stay in a friendship or romantic relationship because you feel responsible for the other person's happiness or because you've been together for a long time. You might worry that leaving will hurt them or feel that you owe it to them to stay. However, if the relationship is no longer healthy or fulfilling for you, staying out of obligation is not fair to either party. The Stoics remind us that genuine relationships are built on mutual respect and voluntary commitment, not on guilt or a sense of duty. It's important to act with integrity and honesty, both to yourself and to others. Walking away from situations where you're only staying out of guilt or obligation is an act of self-respect and authenticity. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are valuable and that you deserve to spend them in ways that are meaningful and fulfilling to you. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our actions and decisions, and to let go of what we cannot control, such as the reactions of others. By prioritizing your own well-being and making decisions based on your true desires and values, you are living in accordance with Stoic principles. Imagine the freedom and empowerment that come from making choices that align with your true self. When you let go of guilt and obligation, you open up space in your life for opportunities and relationships that genuinely resonate with you. This shift can lead to greater happiness, fulfillment, and personal growth. The Stoics believed that living a virtuous life involves making choices that reflect your core values and pursuing what truly matters to you, rather than being swayed by external pressures. It's important to acknowledge that leaving a situation out of guilt or obligation can be challenging. There may be initial discomfort and difficult conversations, but ultimately, it's a step towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this process with courage and wisdom, understanding that true contentment comes from living in harmony with your inner principles. By making decisions that honor your true self, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and integrity. Number 7. When there's a serious breach of trust. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships. Whether it's a friendship, a romantic partnership, or a professional connection, trust is what allows us to feel secure and valued. When trust is seriously breached, it can feel like the ground has been pulled out from under you. This breach can come in many forms: deceit, betrayal, or dishonesty, and it often leaves deep emotional scars. The Stoics emphasize the importance of honesty and integrity, teaching us that our character is defined by our actions and the trust we build with others. When trust is broken, it's a signal that something fundamental has shifted in the relationship. Imagine discovering that a close friend has been spreading false rumors about you, or finding out that your partner has been unfaithful. These breaches of trust are not just hurtful, they fundamentally alter the dynamic of the relationship. It becomes difficult, if not impossible, to continue interacting with the same level of openness and vulnerability. The Stoics would advise us to confront such situations with clarity and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, taught that we must accept the reality of the world and the actions of others, but we must also take action to protect our inner peace and integrity. In a professional setting, a serious breach of trust might involve a colleague taking credit for your work or a superior making false promises. These actions can undermine your confidence and create a toxic work environment. When you can no longer trust the people you work with, it's challenging to stay motivated and engaged. The Stoics remind us that we should act with honor and integrity, regardless of the actions of others. If trust is broken in a way that compromises your ability to perform your job effectively and ethically, it might be time to consider walking away. Walking away from a relationship or situation where trust has been seriously breached is not about running away from challenges. It's about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. It's about recognizing that trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses, while accepting that we cannot change others. By choosing to walk away, you are making a decision to prioritize your own integrity and peace of mind. Consider the long-term effects of staying in a situation where trust has been compromised. The constant doubt and anxiety can take a significant toll on your mental health. You might find yourself constantly questioning the other person's actions and motives, which can be exhausting and debilitating. The Stoics would encourage you to value your inner tranquility above all else. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, taught that our peace of mind should not be sacrificed for the sake of maintaining a relationship that no longer serves us. Imagine the relief and empowerment that come from leaving a situation where trust has been breached. By walking away, you open up the possibility for new, healthier relationships built on mutual respect and trust. You also send a powerful message to yourself and others about your self-worth and the standards you expect in your interactions. The Stoics believed in living a life of virtue and authenticity, and part of that is surrounding yourself with people who uphold those same values. It's important to acknowledge that walking away from a breach of trust can be incredibly challenging. It might involve difficult conversations and the loss of a relationship that once meant a lot to you. However, it's crucial to remember that your well-being and integrity are paramount. The Stoics teach us to face such challenges with courage and wisdom, understanding that sometimes the most virtuous path is also the most difficult one. Number 8. When you have lost yourself. Losing yourself can be one of the most disorienting and painful experiences. It often happens gradually over time as you prioritize others' needs and expectations over your own. You might wake up one day and realize you no longer recognize the person staring back at you in the mirror. This loss of self can occur in various aspects of life: relationships, careers, social circles, and it leaves you feeling empty and disconnected. The Stoics emphasize the importance of knowing oneself and living in alignment with one's true nature. When you lose sight of who you are, it's a signal that something fundamental needs to change. Think about a relationship where you've constantly compromised your own desires and values to keep the peace or to please your partner. Over time, you may find that you've molded yourself to fit someone else's expectations, neglecting your own identity in the process. This can lead to a profound sense of loss and confusion. The Stoics teach us to value our true selves and to live authentically. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we should not allow our lives to be ruled by the expectations of others, but should instead stay true to our own principles and nature. In your career, losing yourself can happen when you're so focused on climbing the corporate ladder or meeting external definitions of success that you forget why you started in the first place. You might find yourself in a role that looks great on paper, but leaves you feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from your passions. The Stoics would encourage you to reflect on what truly matters to you and to ensure that your work aligns with your values and interests. It's important to seek out roles and environments that allow you to be your true self and contribute in ways that are meaningful to you. Social circles and friendships can also contribute to this loss of self. If you're surrounded by people whose values and lifestyles don't resonate with you, it's easy to start conforming to fit in. Over time, this can erode your sense of identity. The Stoics believed in the importance of choosing your companions wisely and ensuring that your relationships reflect your true self. Seneca advised that we should seek friendships that are based on mutual respect and shared values, as these relationships help us grow and stay true to who we are. Walking away from situations where you've lost yourself is an act of courage and self-rediscovery. It's about reclaiming your identity and living in alignment with your true nature. The Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control: our actions, decisions, and how we choose to live our lives. By stepping away from environments that suppress your true self, you create space for growth and self-exploration. This journey of rediscovery allows you to reconnect with your passions, values, and the things that bring you joy. Imagine the freedom and fulfillment that come from living authentically. When you let go of the need to conform and embrace your true self, you experience a sense of liberation. You start to attract relationships and opportunities that align with who you really are. This authenticity not only enhances your own well-being, but also positively impacts those around you. The Stoics believed that living in accordance with your true nature is essential for a virtuous and fulfilling life. It's important to recognize that reclaiming yourself can be a challenging process. It might involve difficult decisions and leaving behind people or situations that once felt comfortable. However, it's a necessary step towards living a life that truly reflects your values and passions. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this journey with courage and self-compassion, understanding that true contentment comes from living in harmony with your inner self. Number 9. When you've done all you can. Reaching a point where you've done everything within your power but still see no progress or positive change can be incredibly disheartening. It's that moment of exhaustion where, despite all your efforts, the situation remains stubbornly the same. This feeling can arise in various aspects of life. relationships, careers, or personal projects. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. When you've given your all and the outcome hasn't changed, it might be time to recognize that it's not a reflection of your worth or effort, but rather a sign that it's time to move on. Consider a relationship where you've tried every possible way to communicate, to mend, and to make things work. You've been patient, empathetic, and have put in the hard work to resolve conflicts, but despite your best efforts, the relationship remains unfulfilling or toxic. This can be incredibly draining, both emotionally and mentally. The Stoics remind us that our responsibility is to our own actions and intentions, not the actions or responses of others. If your efforts are not reciprocated or acknowledged, it's a clear indication that continuing to stay might only cause more harm than good. In your professional life, there might be a project or job role where you've invested significant time and energy. You've implemented new strategies, worked overtime, and dedicated yourself to making things better. Yet, the results don't align with your expectations, and there's no sign of improvement. This can lead to burnout and frustration. The Stoic approach would be to assess the situation objectively, recognizing that while your efforts were commendable, the circumstances might be beyond your control. It's important to know when to pivot, seek new opportunities, or even walk away entirely to protect your well-being and professional growth. Personal projects and goals can also hit a wall where, despite all your hard work and dedication, progress seems impossible. This could be a creative endeavor, a fitness goal, or any personal aspiration. When you've exhausted all avenues and still find yourself stuck, it's easy to fall into a pattern of self-blame and despair. The Stoics would advise that you reflect on what you've learned from the process, appreciate your efforts, and understand that not all endeavors are meant to succeed. Sometimes the wisdom lies in recognizing the right time to let go and redirect your energy towards more fruitful pursuits. Walking away after you've done all you can is not a sign of failure. It's an act of self-respect and wisdom. It's about understanding the limits of your influence and making peace with the outcomes that are out of your control. The Stoics believed in the importance of focusing on what truly matters and letting go of what does not. By stepping away from situations that no longer serve you, you create space for new opportunities and experiences that align more closely with your goals and values. Imagine the relief and liberation that come from acknowledging that you've done everything within your power. By letting go, you free yourself from the cycle of frustration and disappointment. This act of moving on opens up possibilities for growth, learning, and new beginnings. The Stoics teach us that life is a series of opportunities for growth, and that sometimes growth means knowing when to walk away. It's crucial to approach this decision with self-compassion and understanding. Walking away doesn't diminish the value of your efforts or the significance of what you've tried to achieve. Instead, it highlights your resilience and your commitment to living authentically and purposefully. The Stoics would encourage you to view this as a part of your journey, a step towards new paths that may offer greater fulfillment and success. In the journey of life, knowing when to walk away is a profound act of courage and self-respect. It's about valuing your peace, your integrity, and your growth above all else. Remember, every step you take towards living authentically is a step towards a more fulfilling and meaningful life. If you found this video helpful, I invite you to watch one of the suggested videos on the screen for more insights and wisdom. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal. Stay true to yourself and keep striving for the best.